Me some positive energy this morning. This is my first time in this space, and I'm just in awe and how beautiful it is. We're going to start off with a song selection called Pour Yourself in Me, just to warm up a little bit. So just close your eyes and let's meditate on these words this morning. Pour yourself. Pour yourself in me. Pour yourself into my heart. Whoa, whoa. Wonderful Spirit. Pour yourself in me. Yeah. Pour yourself into my heart. Whoa. Let's say that one more time. Sing, pour yourself.
Pour yourself in
me.
Pour yourself into my heart. Oh,
wonderful.
Wonderful Spirit.
Pour your love.
Pour your love into my heart.
You guys sound so good.
Wonderful Spirit.
Let's sing. Pour your love in me.
Pour your love in me.
Pour your love in me.
Pour your love into my heart. Wonderful Spirit.
Pour your love.
Pour your love in me. Pour your love into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit.
Dance your song in me.
Dance your song in me. Dance your song into my heart. Wonderful Spirit.
Pour yourself in me.
Pour yourself into my heart. Wonderful Spirit.
Now the next tune goes like this. This is the air I breathe.
This is the air I breathe. Your holy presence
Living in me.
living in me.
The next part says, this is my daily bread.
This is
My daily bread. You are my daily bread.
This is my daily bread.
Your holy word.
Your holy word
Spoken into me.
spoken to me.
And I'm living for you. I'm living for you. And I'm longing for you.
I'm longing for
This is the air I breathe. This is the air I breathe. Just keep singing, this is the air I breathe, guys. This is the air I breathe. God, you are the air I breathe. Oh, you are the air I breathe. Oh, the One more. Can we do one more? Do we have time for one more? Hey, let's get on our feet. Why not? It's been a while since we've sang this one. This one says, "You're amazing." You're amazing. You're amazing. You're amazing. So amazing. You're amazing. You're amazing. You're amazing. So amazing. Let's sing that again. You're amazing.
You're amazing.
You're amazing.
You're amazing.
You're amazing.
You're amazing.
So amazing.
So amazing.
Cause the stars and the sun and moon to shine. And I'm so glad you're mine. No, I'm glad to say you're mine. And we stand in awe of you, amazed, amazed at the things you do. You're holy, worthy is our God who lives in me. We stand in awe of you, amazed, 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 amazed at the things you do. You're holy, worthy is our God. Who lives in me. Come on, let's put our hands together, y'all. This part says, no one compares to you. Just know that each and every one of us are individually unique and special and beautiful, and no one compares to you. So when you sing this next part, I want you to sing it with conviction and know that you are special and you are wonderful. You are beautiful. Come on, no one compares. No one compares.
No one compares to you.
No one compares.
No one compares to you.
No one compares.
No one compares to you.
No one compares to you. You're amazing.
You're amazing.
You're amazing.
You're amazing.
No one compares.
No one compares to you.
No one compares.
No one compares to you.
Know that you are amazing.
No one compares to you.
You're amazing.
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 So amazing.
I'm amazing.
I'm amazing.
And you're amazing.
You're amazing.
No one compares to you. You're amazing.
Good morning, Cityside. I'm Reverend Amy Daniels. I'm the spiritual director here at Cityside, and if you're here for the first time, we especially want to welcome you. Here at Cityside, we practice practical spirituality that you can use in your daily life, and I'm really happy to say we're very close to finishing our affiliation with Centers for Spiritual Living. John made me sign a document this morning. He goes, "You just signed your life away." I'm like, okay. It's just CSL, but we are students of Ernest Holmes and other New Thought teachers, and what we really are about is providing a supportive community for you to grow and develop in. And this is our second service at our beautiful new space, which we're so happy about. So I want to invite everyone. You should have gotten a handout on the way in. If anyone doesn't have one, raise your hand. We decided to do away with PowerPoint in our new space. And join me in saying our mission and vision out loud. We envision an empowered community that is living in a world of unconditional love in action. Our mission is to create safe spaces to serve and deepen our faith grow in spiritual relationship, and connect with our authentic nature. And we are a social media friendly church, so we do invite you to share. If you go to Cityside Spiritual Community on Facebook, you can share the live stream. And we find we get a lot of people who watch during the week, so it's a way to share a positive message. And we do get to hear from Reverend Darrell today, so we're very excited about that. And you know what, I was thinking, it doesn't even matter what he's talking about, it's gonna be good. So one of our traditions here is to meet someone that you don't know and to stand up and greet them. So our icebreaker, we always have an icebreaker for what you're excited about this week.
For prayer and meditation. All right, everybody, let's come back together when you get a right moment. Hi, live streamers, how are you doing? We're just coming back together again. I hope you will come and visit us in person. This is a beautiful space, and we have really a very expanding, robust community here. So we're really looking forward to seeing people live and in person. So we're coming back together. And I know it's really fun to meet and greet everybody. We could make that the whole service. And so we come into into our practice together, into our spiritual practice, and just inviting you to find a space for yourself, settle in. We use these spiritual practices to really connect to that source within, that God, that good. As Ernest Holmes says, there's a power for good in the universe, and it is available for you to use. So as you're settling down, just invite you to take a breath. If you'd like to, close your eyes or just soften your gaze. We'll move into just a few minutes of meditation. So just becoming aware of your aliveness, that sense of self, that sense of aliveness as you breathe in, taking a nice breath in, just becoming aware of that breath and letting that breath take you into a deep state of meditation. And just know that good is here for you, as you, through you. Just breathing in that goodness that is all around you and in you, right here, right now. Moving into just a few minutes of breath. How good it is just to be in the stillness with you today. Be in this still, quiet moment where we know and activate and are aware of our own beingness, that beingness that is that which is the source of all that is, this unconditional love that is in and through all that is. This source, this joy, this divine intelligence, this thing that we call God. That word doesn't work for you. Whatever word is your word, higher power, divine intelligence, unconditional love. Just knowing and aware of it in and through all that is. And as I know this is the source of all that is, it is the source of me. I am one with it. I must be one with it. I am one with unconditional love. I am one with this divine intelligence, this wholeness, this peace, this eternal, infinite joy. As I know this truth for myself, I know this truth for each person here, each person live streaming, each person watching and participating in this prayer, this blessing. Just knowing and affirming this oneness for each and every single person and all aspects of this divine intelligence present. Divine intelligence, unconditional love as abundance, as joy, as wholeness. All aspects present here and now. And just knowing from this place of oneness, this recognizing this God presence in and through all. I just say a blessing upon our time together, knowing that as we come together, we just offer this mastermind collective energy, knowing that we move mountains, we make change, we are transforming here and now that which we call forward to be transformed. Just say a blessing upon our own Reverend Darrell, knowing that he steps into his genius as he shares his truth, he shares from his heart, and he shares from his mind this teaching today. And I just say a blessing upon our musicians, on all the hearts and hands that make today possible. Just all the generous contributions that make today possible. Just knowing and affirming for Cityside a continued vitality, a continued abundance, and a continued expansion. I just know all of this is good. I just know that it is done. I know that it is beautiful and bountiful and done in love. And so in the name of love and with a grateful heart, I simply say, and so it is. Amen.
If you wanna know real feeling, take the time for healing. A moment in the morning for prayer. Begin anew with sunrise. Wipe the dust from your eyes. Be rid of all your disguises again. A little for your father, a little for your mother, a little for your sister, a little for your brother, a little love for your soul will make you whole. If you're looking for protection, learn to read directions written in the depths of your soul. Remember in the noonday, sit in peace, meditate. Stillness takes you farther than you know. A little for your father, a little for your mother, a little for your sister, a little for your brother, a little love for your soul will make you whole. hour. Dedicate an hour for the shower of love. Do it in the evening, you will be receiving the piece of you that you left behind. A little for your father, a little for your mother, a little for your sister, a little for your brother, a little love for your soul will make you whole. A little for your father, a little for your mother, a little for your sister, a little for your brother, a little bit of love for your soul will make you whole. Be rid of your disguises again. Be rid of your disguises again. Be rid of your disguises again.
Thank you, Monique. That was beautiful. You know what's so cool? We could see Greg play the piano now, so you even realize even more how talented he is. So thank you. So I'm super excited. Is that the phone ringing that someone's trying to get in? So when someone's late, they got to buzz in. So we have a phone, but we keep losing it. So really excited to have Darrell with us here today. I've known Darrell since 2004, and in some ways he doesn't need an introduction, but I feel like I want to give him one to honor him. So I got to go through ministerial school with Darrell, and so we had this big family. Carrie was part of it too. We would go on these retreats, and then everyone, like, we'd have the family house and the family meal. And so I've gotten to spend a lot of time with Darrell over the years. But I'm really particularly enjoying watching Darrell right now because the work he's doing at Chill is amazing. And he's, driving around all over the place. Where were you coming back from when you called me the other day? Like Bolingbrook or someplace south? And yeah, he was someplace in the, outside of the city. And he was out at a company teaching mindfulness and meditation. And I appreciate that because I think that what's going to change the world is taking some of the things that we know into regular life. And so I really honor that Darrell is doing that. It's making a huge difference, and it's super fun to watch. So come on up.
So I'm excited to talk. I'm excited to be here this morning. Those who I was interacting with a couple of folks online, hello, good morning, wherever you are in Northern California, Chicagoland area, and elsewhere. So I'm honored, really. Thank you, Reverend Amy, for inviting me to speak during this time. This is the second week that Cityside has been in this location. And, what is one of the top 5 stresses in the world? Moving. I'm also going through moving myself. I've been living with my beautiful in-laws for the past month and a half, and I don't say that facetiously. They are beautiful, but I am ready to be in my own home. And what I have been noticing in myself is that experience of change, of uncertainty, of not knowingness. And the more and more I thought about it preparing for this talk today, it's like, but you know what? You wake up every day, and do you actually know everything that's going to happen? You've got a calendar where you've got things written down, but then you walk outside and something else tends to happen. So our ability to manage change is probably one of the most important skills that we can develop in our lives, regardless of our age, regardless of our profession, regardless of anything that we're doing, because life is always doing what? Changing. But to honor what Cityside is going through and where it is right now, this is one of the biggest stresses, to move from one location to another, because everything's up. How do I get in? People are coming late and buzzing through the door. Where do I park? Can I take transportation? Who's going to be there? There's just all these what ifs. My goal and intention is that by the end of the talk today, regardless of the change that might be going on in your individual life or the collective community here, is that using the tools of gratitude and kindness, you'll have something in your spiritual toolkit or toolbox to help you along the journey of navigating change. Sound like a good idea? The quote that has been guiding me as I prepare is one from Ernest Holmes, and it is one of my favorite quotes. We are chemists in the laboratory of the infinite. What then shall we create? And I can never, and Amy will appreciate this probably more than anyone, but one of our dean, actually, when we first came into school, was a man with an even more robust baritone than me, and he was from Jamaica. And he would love to quote Ernest Holmes, and he'd say, we are chemists in the laboratory of the infinite. What then shall you produce? And so his voice has been just echoing in my mind. But it's such a powerful, powerful statement. If we think about this idea of consciousness, there is a chemistry that happens, right? That is the whole foundation of what Ernest Holmes was writing about, the science of the mind. There is a science to what happens when we go into a space of anger. There is something different present in the mind. There are different neural pathways firing. There is a different chemistry in our bloodstream when we are in anger as opposed to when we are in love. When we are in a space of fear, something else is going on. When we are in a space of ease and relaxation, something else is going on. And oftentimes that chemistry within our mind, within our body, within our consciousness, within our actual biology is influenced by what happens outside of us, right? You turn on the television, you open up Facebook, someone says something that you don't agree with, and immediately you feel that like just tug at you, and these beautiful things called adrenal glands start pumping out things to help us manage the stress, right? So we are literally putting something into our bloodstream. There's a chemistry shift that happens. The challenge is that most of us stop there and we let ourselves be a victim to the external circumstances. I'm just angry because they did that, because they said that, because they didn't do that. But if we are chemists in the laboratory of our consciousness and we are invited by Ernest Holmes to be conscious and choose what shall we produce, what do we do to produce something different than that chemical state? That consciousness state. Spiritual practice to me is the thing. There's not one spiritual practice, it's just being in practice. But today I want to highlight two: kindness and gratitude. So the thing that I have loved is I've always been, affectionately I use the term nerd. I've always been a nerd for science. I've always been a nerd for information. And I think that is such a critical thing for us to understand, to have an intellectual knowing. And we're going to just tap a little bit of that today in our time together. I'm trying to be mindful of time because I can talk forever. But the most important thing is to find practices to engage this intellectual knowing. If we are chemists in the realm of the infinite, that is consciousness, it's actual blood chemistry, but the thing that leads up to all of that, the space where actual change begins, is in our behavior. What we choose to do. And that is the seat that I think Ernest Holmes and so many other teachers of New Thought invite us into. That there's an actual behavior that you can engage in that will begin to shift your blood chemistry, that will begin to shift your consciousness chemistry. And that is the practice of prayer. That is the practice of meditation. That is the practice of journal writing. That is the practice of yoga. That is the practice of anything that puts you into a vibration and a frequency and a consciousness that fits under the umbrella of love. And I think that kindness and gratitude are things that fall under the umbrella of love. Would you agree? Wonderful. So here's the nerd part for a little bit. Kindness. There are studies that have been done on what actually gets released into the body when kindness is experienced, whether you are the person engaging in giving kindness to someone, whether you are the one receiving the kindness. But here's the cool thing. You can even be someone passively watching someone give someone something, and you get the same biochemical benefit. It's nuts. You get the same biochemical benefit. Your oxytocin levels go up. This is tied to feeling good. Oxytocin is something that helps lower blood pressure and basically keeps us kind of friendlier. It's the thing that creates a social bond between a mother and a nursing child. Those levels go up as breastfeeding is taking place. Dopamine, the chemical messenger in the brain that can give us a feeling of euphoria, that level increases during the practice of kindness. Serotonin, everyone kind of understands the general idea of serotonin. That's present. It's a neurotransmitter that helps us connect to feelings of being positive. All of those things increase whether we are the ones giving, receiving, or watching. We are chemists in the laboratory of the infinite. What then shall we produce? Gratitude. Gratitude is a relationship builder, right? As we look into this beautiful building, which as I was driving up, I kind of had one of those weird early adulthood flashbacks to the 90s. I used to rehearse in one of these loft spaces very, very late at night, and it was a little questionable outside in this neighborhood at that time. But gratitude is a relationship builder. How many of you want better relationships in your life? How many of you would like a better relationship with yourself? With a loved one, children, pets, God, spirit, your left foot, your right foot? So sitting in here thinking about all of what took place to build this building, there was these individual bricks, but then there is the mortar in between. I like to think of gratitude as mortar. It is the relationship builder, is the thing that binds and brings it all together. The thing is about all of these practices that we speak of, but in particular gratitude and kindness, is it's not a one and done sort of thing. As I go out and teach and welcome the secular world into practices of transformation when it comes to their mind, I don't use the word God. I don't even use the word consciousness because that kind of trips people up too. They're like, whoa, what's consciousness? It's a big, heady word. But most people understand that if I feel anxious and worked up, there's got to be something I can do to shift that. And so bringing in this practice of meditation and mindfulness, getting present to the moment, is something that you can do to engage in that practice. But gratitude and kindness, in all of them, it has to happen on a regular basis. Most people, including myself, will lean into those practices when the proverbial beep hits the fan, right? Life is not going the way that you want it to. And so therefore you're like, I got to do something now Stuff is really rough. I've got to engage in something. Nothing wrong with that, but what if you could do a little bit of something every day, so when the beep hits the fan, which is nothing more than change, right? To go back to what we were first talking about, change is constantly happening. Beep is constantly happening. Stuff, as I like to call it, is constantly happening. If we're engaged in these practices constantly, if we're doing them daily, then we are doing something to strengthen and flex our consciousness. Just as you would go into a gym and exercise a muscle, if you don't do anything to move this muscle and offer it some resistance, it's going to stay in its normal ability of strength. It's actually probably eventually going to atrophy because it hasn't met any healthy resistance. For anyone who does stretching or a yoga practitioner, if you don't do something to elongate your muscle beyond its normal range of motion, then you're not going to really understand an increased sense of flexibility. We have to exercise those muscles. And, to be honest, I would love if I did yoga every day. I don't. I tell myself I can do it a couple times a week and it's enough, and right now it is. But the thing that I do know is that my body is not going to move into a new way of being until I increase my practice. The same is true with gratitude. The same is true with kindness. A lot of people honor gratitude once a year with lots of turkey and stuffing and pie. And I'm grateful for all of that. But it's not a one and done sort of thing. It's not enough to just remember it here and there. It's something just like brushing our teeth, right? We don't brush our teeth on Monday and go, I'm good, and then come back to it next Monday. We have to do it every single day. That little bit, that conscious touching of brushing the teeth does something to maintain something within our oral health. These spiritual practices, but you can even take out the word spiritual. That's what I do in the corporate setting because people get, freaked out by that. What are you trying to tell me I should believe? Nothing. I'm just asking you to exercise. Do you believe in exercise? Well, yes. But what? Take a deep breath in. Exercise a conscious breath out. But do it regularly, consciously, intentionally, on purpose. When was the last time that you just went up to someone and said, you know what, I want to share some gratitude for you because they didn't do anything in particular? It doesn't happen that often. It doesn't happen enough. I've been thinking a lot about it this week. I want to start going up to people and sharing gratitude for who they are and what they do, not because they just did something, just because I want to foster that relationship, right? This is the mortar. Gratitude is the thing that helps us bind together in a good way to build a foundation that can sustain anything. And the thing that's cool in terms of the literal chemistry that happens in the body, when we practice gratitude, on some level that's being kind. So if we want to increase those dopamine levels, the serotonin levels, the I was going to say Oxycontin. That is not what we want to increase. We want less of that. To increase the oxytocin levels in our body, kindness is the thing, but gratitude is the practice. Does that make sense? Gratitude is the exercise. It is the behavior that you can engage in that will open up the floodgates, literally and figuratively, of this amazing spirit, these amazing neurotransmitters into the body. Last week, Reverend Amy referenced the 4 kingdoms of consciousness. Do you remember that if you were here, if you watched it on live stream? And so in these 4 kingdoms, we start off in, there's no linear movement to this, by the way. A lot of people go, oh, I want to just live in the kingdom of, of Asmi all the time. And I want to as well, but usually what happens is my phone rings and I'm no longer in Asmi. Because someone just called me, and if nothing else I can say, you're disrupting my time. You're taking up my time, ringing my phone. Why are you calling me? So it's this fluid movement between the kingdoms of consciousness, these realms of how we interact with the world, right? So by me, which is considered the lowest vibration, right? That we think the world is happening, or I'm sorry, to me, that the world is happening to us, that we are victims. We are simply at the consequence of what other people do and don't do. A lot of us, all of us, hang out here a lot. But then easily we go, well, you know what? I'm not going to let them do that to me, and I'm going to make a choice, and we step into by me. We take responsibility. If you've ever heard Reverend Michael Beckwith talk and teach on this, that's the thing. That is the behavior that moves us out of the victim consciousness into the by me, is taking responsibility. And I believe that the practice of gratitude is a behavior that also is a bridge out of the space of being a victim to our consequence and into a space of being responsible. Just for a moment, take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, with your eyes opened or closed, whatever feels comfortable to you, see if you can release any holding, whether it's physical, mental, or emotional. Then just for a moment, say inside your mind, I am grateful. Not for anything, just say, I am grateful. And then let it connect to just the simple act of breathing. I am grateful for this inhale. I am grateful for this exhale. And just notice how you feel. It's a slight, very, very subtle shift. I am grateful for this inhale. I am grateful for this exhale. That feeling that you experience in just those 2 breaths is the beginning of shift, the beginning of being a chemist. It's the beginning of taking responsibility for what you shall produce in your life. We are chemists in the laboratory of the infinite, not the finite, the infinite. What then shall we produce? How many of you took a shower this morning? Maybe you combed your hair. I didn't comb my hair. But I brushed my teeth. I took a shower. I thought about what I was going to put on. No, I don't want that. No, I want this. No, I don't want that. No, I want this. We all did something to it. We didn't just get up out of bed and walk out of the front door. Can everyone agree that they did something other than that to get here today? And so what I want to point to again is this idea of habit and ritual. We have a ritual of preparing ourselves to go out into the world and look a certain way. Right? You have your style. You've got your look. Whether you think you've got a look or not, you have a look because you've chosen certain things to hang up in your closet, and that's part of your physical identity. That's part of who you invite the world to see you as. But as you move into this week, I invite you to entertain what is the ritual for the consciousness you dress yourself with every day? What is the ritual that you engage in to dress your consciousness for the world? You choose what clothes you want to put on to be seen. What are the clothing of your consciousness that you choose to put on as to how you see? Does that make sense? We put a lot of time and effort. Some of us have personal shoppers to help us figure out what we're going to wear. We go into stores and we ask people we watch TV shows of people getting makeovers. I love a good makeover. It's like, dang, someone just looks completely different. But there's something powerful about this internal dressing, this internal styling that we can actually we are the only ones that can be responsible for. No one. Spirit is not responsible for your consciousness. God, the universe, mother, father, the vibrational field, quantum physics. None of that is responsible for what you put on as the consciousness clothing every day and you step out into the world. If you are seeking to dress yourself and you want to look fly, super sharp, sexy, and hot in your mind, then try putting on a little gratitude. Try putting on a little bit of kindness. You can bedazzle it and put all kinds of sequins on it, whatever you want to do. But the most important thing, think of it this way. I wasn't going to go here, but I'm going to go there. Think of kindness and gratitude as your underwear. You put on underwear regardless of what you're wearing. It is a must, right? Think of gratitude and kindness as your spiritual undergarments. It's a must. Put them on regardless of what's on the outside. Always come to a little bit of kindness. Always come to a little bit of gratitude. If nothing else, if you're like, yeah, whatever, increase your dopamine, increase your serotonin, increase the literal chemistry of your body to better handle the stresses out in your world. Does that sound good? So before we close today, I'm all about, and it's what drives all of my ministry, whether it's in a spiritual conversation or a secular one, as I will spend as much time as anyone wants to talking about principle, right? Because that is, to me, one of the most important things, to live a principle-centered life. But it's one thing to intellectually understand principle and then to not or choose to engage in behavior that opens up that principle to express consciously. So the invitation today is to engage in some sort of gratitude and kindness practice, not just because, not when it's convenient, not because the world does something for you, but to dress your consciousness as you would like to see the world when you step out of the door. Here are a couple of practices for you to engage in. If you're a writer, write. Just catalog some things that you're grateful for, whether it's something that happened 20 years ago, something that you might happen 20 days from now. I'm always about the present because this is where the only place you can actually live. So write something in a journal about what you're grateful for today. And it can be as simple as, I'm grateful for this cup of coffee. I'm grateful for this breath in. What you're grateful for is less important than the actual action and practice of moving your consciousness and mind into the vibration, into the neural pathway of gratitude. Does that make sense? So even if you were just to say, I'm grateful over and over again, in prayer, in song, which we're about to do, in meditation. I love meditation, I love meditation, I love meditation. But if that's not your jam and you like to engage words, then say a prayer of gratitude. Tell the consciousness of your being why you are so grateful and affirm that over and over and over again. So about 10 years ago, I think, I was introduced to this song by Reverend Greg Stumper, and it's called Yes, I'm Grateful. And we're just going to do a small little portion of it today. But there's something, I think, I'm just getting chills thinking about it right now. There's something powerful about singing gratitude. Whether you are a great singer or not, you can just say these words, but allow yourself to be in the vibration of singing gratitude. Let yourself feel it. Let yourself experience the increase. Be the chemist in the realm of the infinite, yes? So here's the words are really difficult. You'll catch on quickly. Grateful, I am grateful, I am grateful. You got it. Grateful, I am grateful, I am grateful. My gift to you. My gift to you is gratitude. Oh, yes, I'm grateful. Oh, yes, I'm grateful. Let's sing that one more time. Close your eyes and just feel it. Grateful, I am grateful, I am grateful. Grateful, I am grateful, I am grateful. My gift to you, my gift to you is gratitude. Oh, yes, I'm grateful. Oh, yes, I'm grateful. Sing, oh, one more time. Oh, yes, I'm grateful. Take in a deep breath and just feel that for a moment. That's being a powerful chemist in the realm of the infinite. Not because of anything, not because God or your partner or your kids or a friend did something. You're just saying, I am choosing to be grateful. I'm taking responsibility for my consciousness. I am stepping into the realm of the infinite and creating something that feels good. And it is from this place of good feeling then that I step out into the world. That was a prayer. I am grateful. We just made a declaration in our consciousness. Here and now, I recognize the power and presence of choice. The choice that we have always had, that we have always been given by Spirit. And what I know is that we consciously choose to use this practice of gratitude to move our hearts and minds and our literal biochemistry into a space of power, of grace, of ease, of possibility, of knowing. Yes, I am grateful. And when we say this word, my gift to you, it doesn't necessarily mean an external you, God. Sing it to yourself. My gift to you is gratitude. Oh, yes, I'm grateful. Sing one more time. Oh, yes, I'm grateful. Make it a third time and a wonder. Oh, yes, I'm grateful. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for being grateful. And let yourself not only be a gift to you, but a gift to everyone. Let your kindness influence the world. And so it is.
Thank you, Darrell. So we're going to stay in this energy of gratitude. Cityside is a community-supported organization, so now is our time for conscious giving. And I just want to invite you, Darrell's had us in this lovely space of being grateful, but as you get ready to make your gift, just think about what are you grateful for this week? What's happened that you're grateful for? What are you grateful for in your life? And we're going to pass around the baskets. Reverend Amy forgot to print the new offering envelope, so if you're giving cash and you want to stick it in an envelope, just put your name on it, but you can also text to give to 312-757-8111. And please join me in saying together our affirmation, which is on the handout. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I am, all that I am. I didn't have it written down. I messed that up. Sorry. Thank you, and thank you everyone for your gifts. You know, we're so lucky here because we have an awesome team, and we really do have an awesome team. People just show up to help. And so I want to start by thanking those people, John and Lucy, Bobby, Peter, Reverend Judy, Keith, Ted, Connie, Greg, Monique, and Dom, and many other people all the time. So I just want to start by saying thank you for that. And if you're here for the first time, we want to thank you for blessing us with your presence, and we want to invite you to fill out a yes and card. They're actually out on the table in the lobby. That'll just allow us to put you on our mailing list and to stay in touch with you during the week. And please stay and have some coffee and visit. And please talk up our new location. Everybody, take some cards. They're also out on the welcome table. Invite some friends. We want to continue to celebrate our new space. And we also want to invite everyone to join the Facebook group. So if you go to Cityside Spiritual Community, there's an option to click on Cityside Spiritual Community Group. It's a closed group. We share about what's going on in the community. If anyone has anything personal going on and wants to ask for prayer, sometimes people post inspirational stuff, but it's a good way to stay connected during the week. And I also want to just presence, with our affiliation with CSL, we are going to start offering CSL curriculum. So a couple of people approached me after service last week and were asking about, if I've taken classes elsewhere, how do I get them counting? So we haven't picked a Sunday yet, but sometime in July we're going to have an informational session for people who are on the practitioner track. And if you know anyone else who wants to be on the practitioner track, once we announce it, please invite them. But if you come and you bring a list of your classes, we're trying to plan for fall to make sure we're offering the classes that people need. So I just wanted to mention that, to put it on everybody's radar. And don't leave with anything heavy on your heart. We have not so fancy get your prayer here sign at the back of the room, but Connie and Lucy are going to be offering prayer. Like Darrell said, we're moving, and you just keep thinking like, oh, we didn't think about this. Oh, that's in a box. What happened to it? There's also a prayer table outside, and you can write out your prayer, and practitioners will pray on your prayer for 2 weeks. So we really want to invite everyone to do that. And I think time to pray out the service. So come on up, Monique, with her really cool hair. Doesn't she look fantastic? And one of the things we do in our pray out is we just invite you to add your affirmation to the prayer out loud. So when we get to that point, I'll just ask you to add your affirmation. Okay? And you can stand to your feet, as Philip would say.
Grateful, 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 grateful. Grateful, grateful, grateful. Sing it one more time, say
Grateful.
Ooh, grateful.
Grateful.
I'm grateful.
Grateful.
Grateful. Grateful, grateful,
And so we just turn our attention inward again, just to this deep gratitude of spirit that is at the center of our being, this place of peace and goodness and love, this place of ease and flow, which is spirit. And I know my oneness with this spirit, just as I know the oneness of every person here with this spirit of grace, of gratitude, of love, of joy, of peace, of perfect ease and flow. And so from this place of oneness, I speak a word of thanksgiving for our time together, for the inspirational message by Reverend Darrell. I know that we are all lifted up and that we take this goodness out into our week. We take this gratitude out into our week. That we simply are the change that we want to see in the world. We bring the love, the joy, the grace, the goodness to others. And I know that we are transformed just as the people around us are transformed. And so now I invite you to add your affirmation for this week to this prayer, whether it's a word or a sentence. So with gratitude for all of these intentions and words that have been spoken, with gratitude for this beautiful spiritual community that is a divine idea of spirit, just with gratitude for how good life is and how lucky we are, I simply say, and so it is. Amen.
Everybody sing. Grateful, grateful. Grateful. I'm grateful. Oh, grateful. Oh, grateful. Oh, grateful.
Have a blessed week. And please stay for some coffee and goodies. We always have food.